It's high time we showed you what we're up to in Back to the Future, the online film archive project in East Devon, organised by our Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty Partnership. We collect old amateur film and digitise it so that people in the future may see how we organised for work, how we organised for play and celebration, it will show the young the tools we used in all kinds of circumstance. When we've finished, it'll sit up there on the World Wide Web as a free resource for anybody who wants to know how we lived. "1934 was a big year for the lifeboat in Exmouth. The old lifeboat station in use, but it was a Herculean task getting the boat in the water. And none of the crew embarked without a good soaking. When the new boat arrived, it came with its own trolley, fine until it got over the lip of the beach, when it took on a rather terrifying life of its own. There the coxswain, showing a degree of confidence in the bows that might not be totally genuine. Finally, its uncontrollable careering calmed by the sea itself. Nothing they faced after that can have seemed quite so dangerous. A trip along the front, down through the town, primitive traffic lights, left into Exeter Road, busy then as now, and a hazy glimpse of a rather stately railway arch at the end of the street. Banners and brass band for the Lympston Sunday School fete, an occasion for unself-conscious, homegrown spectacle. The children content to look like children. The elders a respected presence, in competition only with the alarming size of their headgear. All the games full of vigour and frolic. The body language what you would expect of folk who lived in very small living spaces, and often sleeping several people to a bed. These are people used to working in small teams rather than in isolation, staring at screens like we do today. They're used to relying on each other's mental and physical strength to get heavy and complicated jobs done. Remember, widespread rural mechanization was a war and more than a decade away. This is just a taste of a heap of wonderful material from Sir Garbert Knott, once the owner of the Cortlands estate, Lympston. He chronicled activities through the year, and mostly he used a tripod, bless him. This 16mm gift got our project off to a flying start, and this is just a taster. Cider making once an annual event on almost all East Devon farms. This and the next two short films are the work of a Colleton farmer. She shot them in the 1960s. You could still see the three activities going on today, but only in a country experience theme park. All the family involved, confident in the time-honoured parts allocated to them by size, age and responsibility. Look at the tools in use. We know this was shot 50 years ago, but we could have witnessed exactly the same tasks any time in the last 200 years. The process is unchanged. Hand milking a cow. Yes, well, this might need a careful word of explanation for my urban grandchildren. What are you doing to that cow, Grandad? Well, good question. Ask your mother. Most of us will have been to a point-to-point at some time in our lives, but if you hadn't, well, you'd only have to watch this short sequence to know that it was a coming together of all sorts of people, to watch horses racing, and that you could gamble on the outcome. Regardless of your feelings about hunting or gambling, you would know by now that it was colourful and exciting. In short, this film takes you there. This is a fine piece of reportage, and you don't get to make visual stories this good of events you can't manage without lots of quick thinking about where and when to put your camera throughout the event. This came from Ken Skinner over Seaton Way. He shot this sequence as part of a year-long study of the work of a gamekeeper. He spent his life as a builder, but he quite clearly has a gift for the camera. Once again, lots of judgment needed to get the shots to tell the story. All sorts of people have given us the use of film in their possession, and you can't prejudge quality by the donor. It seems some people have the click, and some don't, just like any other art form. Most of the images in our growing archive have come to us as film, but not all. We loved this video sequence so much, we left the sound on.
Tommy Sampson. They usually plough with 2 furrows and 3 horses. Well, you got to sit on and see, because that plough would turn over very, very easily up there when the horses turn. Terry Rossiter with his Cornish type plough, cock out. I think that was Bert Radford's old plough. I reckon you'll win the one-way class, Terry. It's only 1 year. Yeah. That's the drawbar chain gone under the wood.
Finally, back to celebration. Victory in Europe Day in Branscombe, where the highly sensitive early warning station on the cliff required a surprisingly large military presence. Sorry we can't bring you the sound of the band, but see if you can identify the mute dances on the end. Our contact details are coming up shortly. We want more film, so please let us have a look at yours, and it doesn't have to be very old. We'll give you a DVD of any of the images we digitize if you let us put the selected bits up on the web, so we can improve the view of the past from the future. Give me a call on the number and tell me what you've got. Thank you.